If we can make it through this winter, it will be a huge relief because we are caught between raging fires on one side and fierce storms on the other. We are facing an incredibly harsh and unforgiving season with extreme weather conditions testing our resilience. The combination of wildfires, storms, and freezing temperatures makes this winter one of the most challenging in recent memory. Staying prepared and cautious is more important than ever. As nature unleashes its full force, we must do everything we can to protect ourselves and our loved ones. In today's video, we're going to dive into the upcoming weather pattern, taking a look at some relatively warm air moving into the central and eastern United States. In the short to medium range forecasts, there is reason to believe that cold periods will occur during this overall warmer pattern, especially after this warm spell. Around February 7th through 10th, we could see a shift back to colder air. Both major weather models are currently trending towards snowfall for the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. This potential snowfall is not only possible during the warmer time frame, but also afterward. Many models have been showing some significant snowstorms developing toward the tail end of this period, so stay tuned for updates. During this warm-up, we will also experience substantial storms, especially when compared to what we saw in early January and much of December. These storms could bring severe weather, snowfall, and ice storms. The western United States is expected to become more active as well, contributing to an overall more action-packed pattern moving forward. Looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the National Weather Service for February 4th through 8th, we see warmer conditions over the Four Corners region, the south central U.S., and much of the southeast and mid-Atlantic. This indicates that warm air will be moving up the east coast, while cold air dives into the west and spreads into the northern plains and Midwest. Regarding precipitation, activity is on the rise. Most of the nation falls into the above average category, particularly in the west, where the Rockies, Sierra Nevada, and Cascades can expect significant snowfall. Additionally, a decent portion of the Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast is forecasted to experience above average precipitation. If any of this precipitation coincides with the colder periods, we could see snow threats developing in these regions at times. The 8 to 14 day outlook covering February 6th through 12th continues to show warmth over the Four Corners, south central states, and along the East Coast. However, cold air is beginning to shift eastward, and models have been trending colder for this period. Even the Southwest may see some cooling. This could result in a more favorable setup for snowfall across the plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes, possibly even the lower Midwest. Precipitation patterns in this period align with the 6 to 10 day outlook, with above average precipitation expected in the West, Midwest, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. Much of this moisture is now reaching the eastern seaboard as well, signaling an overall increase in weather activity. Reviewing the past 30 days, we see that for about 90% of the nation, temperatures have been colder than normal. The Rockies, Plains, Mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, and Southeast have experienced particularly cold conditions, with departures from normal ranging between 5 and 10 degrees below average. A full month departure of this magnitude is extreme, as typical monthly temperature anomalies are usually within 1 to 3 degrees of normal. Seeing differences of 5 to 10 degrees from normal places, this period on the extreme end of the spectrum, making the past 30 days an exceptionally cold stretch. Now let's analyze the European model. The first batch of rising thunderstorms is developing across Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. We've been tracking this for some time, and it is now beginning to unfold. At this stage, the jet stream does not indicate extreme warmth in the east just yet, though a warm-up is coming. Currently, the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast remain in a cooler phase with ongoing snow showers in these areas. Moving forward to tomorrow afternoon, Thursday, January 30th, thunderstorms and severe weather are expected, particularly under a low pressure system affecting Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana. Additionally, more showery activity is likely near this low and to its east, where a warm front is positioned. The trailing cold front will be the main area of concern for potential thunderstorms and severe weather. By Friday, January 31st, this storm will shift northeastward, reaching Ohio. The trailing cold front and the warm front to its east will continue to generate thunderstorms and severe weather, while areas farther north experience sustained snowfall or mixed precipitation. Meanwhile, a significant storm system will move into western Canada, bringing heavy rainfall and snowfall to the Pacific Northwest. As we move into Saturday, February 1st, colder air will be more prominent across the northern states. Snowfall is expected in the northern Rockies and Cascades. A low pressure system moving through western Canada may also extend snow showers into the upper Midwest and northern plains. By Sunday, February 2nd, heavy precipitation will continue in the northwest, while a weaker low pressure system moving through the Great Lakes will bring additional snowfall and rain to those regions. We do see some snowfall for New England behind a now stronger low pressure system. Meanwhile, a weaker low is present near the northern Rockies, bringing plenty of snowfall to the Cascades, Rockies, northern plains, and upper Midwest. On Tuesday, February 4th, much of the same weather pattern continues. However, the system has dipped farther south into the northern Sierra Nevada mountains. Additionally, the first signs of thunderstorms begin to develop in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. This system is likely to develop into a low pressure system as it moves northward, meaning that by Wednesday, we can expect to see a more defined low in the region. Looking at its progression, we see the system beginning to organize. The low is positioned slightly farther west, with a stretching warm front bringing rainfall and mixed precipitation depending on location. Warm, humid air is being drawn in from the Gulf of Mexico, fueling thunderstorms in the affected areas. Snow and rainfall continue across the western U.S. By Thursday, February 6th, the system becomes more organized over the Midwest. With a developing low position between Illinois and Indiana, a strong warm front to the east brings a mix of precipitation, including snow, ice, and rain. The system also has a trailing cold front, though precipitation levels beneath it are not particularly high at this time. Isolated thunderstorms may develop, but it is not the strongest cold front we have seen. Meanwhile, Nebraska and Minnesota are experiencing significant snowfall, suggesting that an upper Midwest snow event is unfolding. By Friday, February 7th, this system intensifies into a 993 millibar low pressure system over eastern Canada. This could result in heavy snowfall for parts of Canada, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. Snowfall also continues in the western U.S., a trend that remains consistent. On Saturday, February 8th, a new low moves in from the west, dipping into Colorado. Thunderstorms begin forming in the southern plains and Midwest as moisture from the Gulf interacts with the system. To the north and west of the low, snowfall is expected. As this storm progresses, we anticipate further intensification. By Sunday, the system moves quickly, positioning itself north of the Great Lakes in Canada. A cold front extends from the low while a warm front stretches eastward. Snowfall is expected in New England and Canada, with potential thunderstorms developing in the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Southern Plains. This model run has shown multiple thunderstorm events over the past few days, indicating an active pattern. By Monday, most of the storm has exited the region, though the Gulf and Southeast coasts continue to experience lingering thunderstorms and showers. A general cooling trend begins across the east, with colder conditions settling in around February 10th. The jet stream has dipped southward over most of the United States, bringing significantly colder conditions compared to the first 10 days of February. On Tuesday, February 11th, a new low pressure system begins to form over Oklahoma, bringing snowfall to parts of the plains and Midwest. In the far southern plains, such as Texas and Oklahoma, rainfall and thunderstorms are expected instead of snow. Moving into Wednesday, things become more interesting. The Ohio Valley experiences heavy snowfall with significant accumulation in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, northern Kentucky, and parts of West Virginia. This storm has been appearing in multiple model runs over the past couple of days, making it noteworthy. However, because we are still far out in the forecast period, details should be taken with caution. What is more certain is the potential for cold air and snowstorms in this time frame, even if the specific timing and location of individual systems remain uncertain. Meanwhile, thunderstorms will be prevalent in the Gulf states and Deep South. By late Wednesday, the Mid-Atlantic is heavily impacted, starting with Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Southern New England also begins to experience significant snowfall as the storm progresses. As the system exits, the model run concludes, leaving behind a pattern that is far from warm. Snowfall continues across the mountainous west and the plains, while much of the east remains cold with lingering snow in some areas. Given how much discussion there has been about February being a warm month, it is worth noting that significant winter weather opportunities remain. Switching to the GFS model, we see the first thunderstorm event accompanied by a borderline substantial snowfall event for the Great Lakes and Northeast. This version of the storm appears more impactful than what the European model predicted, so we will need to monitor which model is more accurate. Meanwhile, storm activity out west begins around the final day of January into February 1st, with snowfall continuing across the northern U.S. Thunderstorms develop in the south central states. By February 6th, slightly earlier than in the European model, we see a broad low pressure system forming. This results in snowfall for the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, with thunderstorms developing to the south. The system is similar to what the European model shows, but with different timing. Interestingly, another system follows shortly after this one. However, the forecast cut off here, so we will continue monitoring for updates.